Thank you all for coming out this evening to celebrate the innovation community at UC Santa Cruz. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Ryan Sharp. I'm Assistant Vice Chancellor for Innovation and Business Engagement, and I lead our Innovation and Business Engagement Hub here at UC Santa Cruz, which was established in 2021 to advance innovation and entrepreneurship programs and initiatives, expand industry partnerships, and lead innovation-led economic development initiatives. The hub really acts as the point of entry for industry partners, investors, and entrepreneurs to connect with the university's discoveries, innovations, talent, and resources. I want to take a moment before we get going tonight really to acknowledge Chancellor Larive for her instrumental support in launching this exciting awards program and establishing it as the signature event, shining a spotlight on the importance of innovation at UC Santa Cruz. So thank you. This year, we're fortunate to have an inspirational, innovative alumnus joining to serve as our event's MC. So I get to sit down and enjoy dinner this year. Jacob Martinez graduated from UC Santa Cruz with a degree in ecology and evolutionary biology. In 2014, he founded Digital Nest, a technology workforce development hub providing youth and rural communities with high-demand technology skills, mentoring, and hands-on experiences so they can secure well-paying jobs. Jacob also spent nearly 10 years running a successful program funded by the National Science Foundation, encouraging underrepresented Latina girls to study computer science. He's a 2020 recipient of the James Irvine Foundation's Leadership Award, and in 2018, the Draper Richards Kaplan Foundation Entrepreneur Fellow. Jacob currently sits on the boards of Santa Cruz Works and the Center for Rural Innovation, serves as an external advisor to Chancellor Larive, and is on the advisory council for the Aspen Institute Technology Accountability Coalition. I couldn't think of anybody better to be serving as our MC tonight, so please join me in thanking Jacob for acting as our MC and welcoming him to the stage.
There we go, I got it. Thank you. Well, before we start, I do want to read the land acknowledgement for the land that we're sitting on, enjoying this nice dinner today. So the land in which we gather is the unceded territory of the Waswas-speaking Yupi tribe. The Amamatsun tribal band comprised of the descendants of indigenous people taken to missions Santa Cruz and San Juan Bautista during Spanish colonization of the Central Coast. Is today hardworking to restore traditional stewardship practices on these lands and heal from historical trauma. So please keep them in mind as we enjoy our beautiful evening tonight. So thank you for that intro. Inspirational MC, that's tough. There's something he didn't put in that bio that not many people know about, but I really got my professional start, my career here as an undergrad. I got my first job as a professional when I was still a student in the Ecology and Evolutionary Biology department. I knocked on this door of this lab because I heard there were snakes in this lab, and it was the lab of Barry Sonervo, who passed away a few years ago. I knocked on that door and he opened it up and I said, hey, I heard there's snakes here and I'm interested in herpetology and I'm young and I'm enthusiastic and I want to work in your lab. And he says, you're welcome to work in my lab, but you got to clean cages and clean lizard cages and snake cages. So I did that for a year and actually kind of rose through the ranks and actually, still as an undergrad, I started managing his lab. And one of the things that I did, I managed all the grad students and I was still an undergrad, so that upset a lot of the grad students. That an undergrad was telling them when they can and what they can and cannot do with all the lizards we had. The other thing I did with it there, I actually created a breeding facility of lizards. There used to be a greenhouse behind Baskin, and we used to store all the lizards there. So we'd have over 100 lizards back there, and we'd breed them, and we'd do all these studies on it. But that's a little fact. It's usually not my bio, but I was a... And my wife met me, and I had all these snakes and reptiles in my house, and she's still with me. I do want to thank the law firms of Carter, DeLuca, and Farrell, and Gates and Cooper for the support for this evening. Carter, DeLuca, and Farrell are trusted experts in intellectual property law. Their attorneys work with the world's most forward-thinking companies and universities, helping them protect valuable innovations. Vadim Vapniar, who has worked with UC Santa Cruz for over 6 years, is joining us this evening. Are you going to wave your hand there? He's right over there. Gates and Cooper is an intellectual property law firm providing high-value intellectual property legal services to large institutional clients and high-technology startup companies. Brendan Serapiglia is here also. There he is. Has had the pleasure of working with the UC system for over 20 years, first as a postdoc and lecturer, and now as a patent attorney. So just round of applause for having them here tonight, for their support. So the run of the show tonight's in the program. It was on your seat. Hopefully you're still not sitting on it, but it's in there. At this time, we're going to start dinner service. We want you to sit back, relax, introduce yourself to people at your table if you don't know them, but enjoy the evening, and we'll be back shortly after dinner. Thank you. Let me get your attention, please. We're going to get going with our program. Definitely want you to keep enjoying this amazing dinner, so please enjoy while we get the program going. I just love hearing all the conversations. I know at our table, Alex Wolf pulled out a picture of him holding a python. He's quite proud. As soon as I sat down, he's like, check this out. I've held a snake before. Ryan, I hope you shared with your table the tradition of kissing a banana slug, right? It's for our guests, so hopefully you get a chance to kiss a banana slug before you leave. And Natalia, are you practicing your TEDx talk? She's giving a TEDx talk this weekend, so she should be practicing. Her coach is here, so we'll tell her she's practicing. All right, so it's now time to kind of kick off our program, and it's my pleasure to introduce Chancellor Cynthia. We all call her Cindy Larive, a dear friend of mine and somebody who I've got chance to know over the last 4 years now. 4 years? Going on 5 years. So Cindy began her tenure as the 11th UCSC Chancellor in 2019. A common thread throughout Cindy's career has been her commitment to student success, inclusion, and equity. And I would also add community. I haven't seen a Chancellor out in the community as much as I've seen a Chancellor Larive. She's led programs for undergraduate research and curricular innovation, and has written extensively on active and experiential learning and mentoring. Cindy's an accomplished bioanalytical chemist, has authored more than 155 research publications, and is a fellow of the American Association for the Advancement of Science and the American Chemical Society. Please join me in welcoming Cindy.
Well, thank you, Jacob. And I've been such an admirer of your work with the Digital Nest. If you don't know about the Digital Nest, you should learn more. It's an innovative, equity-driven, transformational for its participants. And that's what tonight's awards are all about. And so I'm excited that we have Jacob here with us today, and excited that all of you are part of this very special evening. I also wanted to give my thanks to Ryan Sharp, who you met earlier, Assistant Vice Chancellor for Innovation and Business Engagement. Ryan has been the driver of this awards program. Yeah, we're only in our second year, but it's already clear that these awards are a real success. It's a special way for us to celebrate the remarkable innovation that unfolds on our campus today, as it has since our founding nearly 60 years ago. And so I wanted to just give a couple of pieces of information to you. How many of you have enjoyed those beautiful flowers on your table today? So you might be interested to know that those flowers don't come from the floral shop. They come from the UC Santa Cruz farm, which is such a special place. And it's time now to sign up for the farm, for their farm share food. They have a farm stand program where you can go every week and get the greatest strawberries or blueberries or potatoes. I'm a potato gal myself, and all the great stuff. And so you just kind of prepay, and then they know how much to grow, and you can go and pick out what you want. So think about doing that. I also wanted to mention that every year, twice a year, we have a giving program that supports our student organizations. So in the spring, we call it the Spring Give. I mean, that kind of makes sense. And there are 90 student support programs, clubs, athletics, the Las Mahicas, dancing troupe. You know, it's from A to Z. And the Spring Give ends tomorrow. So if you Google it, you have the chance to pick an organization or two and make a donation that will help a really great group of students. Well, UC Santa Cruz is on a track record of research excellence, trailblazing scholarship, and exciting innovation and expansive creativity. You're going to see much of that tonight in our awards, and I hope you've been enjoying the slides that we saw during dinner highlighting many of our nominees. Through their work, our talented faculty, researchers, staff and students, and our community partners catalyze transformative change and impact society for the better. This awards program provides us an opportunity to recognize the transformational work taking place across our campus in the arts, engineering, humanities, physical and biological sciences, and the social sciences. And this program recognizes contributions in 3 areas. The Innovator of the Year recognizes faculty and associated project teams for their work on innovations that, over the past 12 months, have resulted in societal impact or have reached a milestone that positions the innovations for near-term impact. The lead faculty member's lab or project will receive a $10,000 research award to further advance their work. The Lifetime Achievement and Innovation Award recognizes a faculty member whose career accomplishments include innovations that have led to significant, long-term societal impact. Someone who is an inspiration and a positive influence for students and colleagues. The recipient will receive an award of $5,000 to direct to a division, a department, or lab of their choosing. And the Community Changemaker Award recognizes a leader or organization in our region who has contributed significantly to regional economic prosperity through innovation, creativity, entrepreneurship, or support for growing the innovation ecosystem in close collaboration with the university. Before we get to tonight's winners, I want to say that I'm regularly in awe of our faculty, students, and staff, knowing the extent of the research, scholarship, innovation, and creativity that unfolds on our campus. I offer deep gratitude to our Awards Program Review Committee. Committee members, would you please stand so we can recognize you? There are so many deserving faculty, staff, and students in our community, and sorting through those potential awardees is no easy task. I'm so appreciative of your efforts. Thank you. I'd also like to speak for just a moment about the Digital Scholarship Innovation Studio in our Science and Engineering Library. It offers students access to a variety of equipment and training that supports projects using 3D data. It's a great setup that encourages and enables experimentation and innovation, precisely what we're here to celebrate tonight. That's why we asked the students working in that space to design and produce the awards that we're presenting tonight, and they are phenomenal. The students and the awards, I would say. So please join me in giving a big hand to our student creators as Christy Gobluski-Davis, Director of the University Library Center for Digital Scholarship Commons, joins us on stage. She's the one who oversees it all.
So normally I would have written something really nice and concise, but PG&E had different ideas for what my day was going to look like today. So I hope you'll bear with me as I use some of the notes I have in front of me to talk about the work my students did. We were here last year and made last year's awards and had the opportunity to come back and make this year's awards again. And I can't tell you how proud. See, I didn't do that last year. I'm proud of them. They do awesome work. Usually if I have real words in front of me, I don't do. So we have 4 students who are part of our team this year. Mickey, Navneet, Charlie, and Penn. They're all at that table there. If you see the awards, please congratulate them. They worked really hard on these. This is a process that they go through over the course of about 2 quarters where they are charged with coming up with an idea for an award, and it is that broad. And then we kind of take in feedback from Ryan, they ideate, they kind of prototype, they get to work with new materials. Last year's focus was really on sustainable materials, and this year's focus, based on some of the feedback we had last year and some of the things that we saw really resonated, was on stories. So I would like to share with you a few stories that come from the awards this year. They're over here on the left, and there are 2 awards this year. One of them is for the Lifetime Achievement, and the other is for the other 2 awards. And in one of them, you'll see a sunset backed by the redwood trees on campus with 2 slugs on, and that really is about representing our campus. The idea for the sunset, originally it was going to be painted on wood and then became translucent, and I will just tell you that the work that they did to get a multicolor translucent 3D print to work was phenomenal and really hard in ways that you wouldn't expect. But the idea of it originally came from one of my students walking home from class at night and just living on campus and seeing like what it's like to be here. And that's where that came from. We replicated that sunset on the Mountain Award, and that Mountain Award is really about thinking about the pinnacle of somebody's career. So the bottom of that Mountain Award has the top, I think it's 5 or is it 7? 5 highest peaks in California. And those are the mountains that you see on that front there. So they really spent a lot of time thinking about what it means to make these achievements for the people who win them and who are honored by these awards, but also like what it means to actually physically make these things and to work through that process. So they do really great work. I'm really so excited that we can be here again, and thank you so much for this opportunity for my students to actually go through the process of creating something that has a purpose, and that going through that process of working with feedback and creating something new, that's a really valuable experience for them in their kind of careers as undergraduates here. So thank you so much for your time, and I will hand it off to, here we go. Thank you.
Christy, thank you for sharing that. I mean, that's why we're all here. It's such a great reminder that we're here for the students. And so I want all the students, would you mind standing up so everybody can see you? A round of applause. Beautiful work. Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce Campus Provost and Executive Vice Chancellor Lori Kletzer, who will announce the first awardee for this evening. Lori has served in her current role since 2019, but has been affiliated with UC Santa Cruz since 1992. She's a professor of economics and a former vice provost and dean for the Division of Graduate Studies. Lori is a labor economist, and her research is focused on the domestic labor market effects of globalization and policy responses. Please join me in welcoming Lori to the mic.
Thank you, Jacob. I want to take this opportunity in the presence of a microphone, Jacob, to just tell you how much I admire and am inspired by you. So thank you for that. The snake thing is a little bit of a problem for our relationship, but I'm going to work through that, okay? Good evening. I am really delighted to be here to celebrate this year's honorees of the Chancellor's Innovation Impact Awards. I am particularly grateful that I chose to put my notes on paper today because the whole electronic thing on campus has just not worked out. So these awards are such an important part of recognizing the impactful and paradigm-shifting research and creative scholarship that happens across our campus every day. As the campus provost and executive vice chancellor, I'm the chief academic officer. So a huge part of my job is working with present deans and faculty to attract and then retain and sustain and build an environment where faculty can thrive. In addition, I also oversee the library, so the digital commons piece is also in part of my portfolio. So there's a way in which I own this entire thing. And it's part of my delight in being here with you tonight. So with much more seriousness, through research, our colleagues are advancing and creating knowledge, opening dialogue that traverses and embraces diverse fields of inquiry. Through groundbreaking innovation, they're improving and empowering the lives of individuals and communities. Through creative scholarship, faculty are creating knowledge and new means of expression, ways to understand the world and interpret what it means to be human, examining the past and envisioning and helping us create a more inclusive future. As a university community, we know the hard work and dedication that is involved in these accomplishments. The awards being handed out tonight mark milestones along the research and creative journeys of our faculty colleagues, and also a lifetime of work. As it develops, it takes unexpected turns, and it opens new doors of discovery. Tonight, I have the honor of presenting the first of our 2 Innovator of the Year awards. But before I do that, I would like to acknowledge all the nominees, but don't worry. Selecting the awardees, I do get a chance to say, was not easy. You've seen the slides tonight. We have so many outstanding faculty members and innovators who are making a difference in the world. So I would like to just ask the nominees to stand. Please all stand so we can give you a round of applause. Just quickly, nominees, stand up. And I want to encourage you as you take the program home. That's your chance to read more about the nominees. Now I'm honored to announce the first of the 2 recipients of the Innovator of the Year Award. The first is Susana Ruiz and her team for The Last Chinatown, a site-specific interactive public memorial experience bringing light to the historical erasure of Santa Cruz's last Chinatown, which was destroyed in a flood in 1955. And they do this through photography, augmented reality, and holographic filmmaking. Professor Ruiz is an associate professor of film and digital media, and in 2022, she received the Hewlett 50 Arts Commission in Media Arts Award. Partnering with co-director Hui Trong, an Emmy Award-nominated director of photography and digital media artist, and former lecturer in film and digital media here at Santa Cruz, and Professor Emerita of Literature, Karen Te Yamashita, the 3 have been shining a light on and bringing to life forgotten and erased local histories with a focus on people of color communities. Ruiz and Trong developed a unique style that merges documentary storytelling and game design. Through an app on a mobile device, people can walk down the reconstructed China Lane, currently the Auda Castagna Galleria, as they listen to George Au Jr., one of the last residents with memories of living in the last Santa Cruz Chinatown, and his cousin, Georgina Wong, as they share memories of the neighborhood. Like, how fascinating is this? The immersive experience asks participants to think about their bodies in the actual space as they hear the movement of the nearby San Lorenzo River, smell the nearby plants, and feel the wind on their skin. A pre-release of this work was shown at Santa Cruz's Museum of Art and History's Frequency Digital Arts Festival in 2023. The new work is presented by the MA and supported by UC Santa Cruz's Arts Research Institute, the Committee on Research, and the William and Flora Hewlett Foundation. It will launch in May. So now let's learn about the last Chinatown.
Well, in 2018, we saw our colleagues' work, Professor Cynthia Lingley. She choreographed and she performed this piece where she embodied Chinese characters spanning, decades. And we asked ourselves, this rich and vibrant history, why is it absent from our visual landscape here in Santa Cruz?
During the pandemic, we wanted to do a local project. Well, when we saw the rise of anti-Asian hate, we figured that this was a very important project to get going.
It is a public memorial in the form of an interactive documentary to tell the story of the last Chinatown in Santa Cruz, California, a story that is largely an erased story.
There were 4 to 5 different distinct Chinatowns in Santa Cruz, and the last one was flooded in 1955, and this project sort of rebuilds that Chinatown. Luckily, the Santa Cruz Museum of Art and History had the old insurance maps, so we were able to recreate that Chinatown of the 1940s. A mechanic of the game is to capturing photographs throughout Chinatown. You're capturing photographs, you're getting context, but you're also trying to find hidden photographs that would unlock the Dragon Gate. And once you unlock the Dragon Gate, then, surprise.
And of course, all along the way, you encounter holographic video. It allows us to shoot our storytellers in a way where, from the perspective of the end user, they're able to walk around them. What is an interactive documentary that you experience as you move your body in a specific location? What, as artists and storytellers, what does that allow us to think about in new ways?
Being on location, the sensory contributions of the feel of the wind or the sound of the river, is there a sense of immersion that we can't achieve, in a VR headset, for instance? The app is not a history lesson. The app is a fun, engaging way to learn about the histories, but we use it to speak about social issues in a compelling way.
Maybe one of my favorite pictures, because this is the way I remember Chinatown.
Certainly by the time the flood came and swept away that last Chinatown, the laws had changed. The way George Al Jr. puts it is, why would you want to live there if it floods every other year?
So many immigrant enclaves, immigrant spaces, so many Chinatowns have disappeared. We have this amazing source of photographs by George Lee. He was one of Chinatown's own. He was an amazing street photographer.
We love the fact of being placed in the exact spot where George Lee stood to take these pictures.
As photographers.
And once that photograph pops up and you're hearing these stories from George Al Jr., who was raised there, and what emerges is really a sense of a transportation to that past. We wanted to add to the fabric of the community. We wanted to contribute in a way that makes the community sort of richer and more vibrant. And we wanted to give people that visited Santa Cruz a fun experience.
The media landscape is changing very fast. Mm-hmm. This proliferation of new media and technologies are completely reconfiguring what visual culture is. We think a lot about play. We think a lot about the potential and its limitations to sort of promote community, promote personal expression, and promote justice.
And now I'm going to very slightly go off script, but do not worry. I'd like to invite Susanna and Hui and Karen to join me up here on stage while Susanna officially accepts the award for the three of them. Please join me up here. I'll ask you to come over here. And now, the microphone is yours.
Okay. This is gorgeous. Thank you. Okay, I have some notes. I'm pretty nervous. Okay. I also wrote these remarks before I had a chance to read the room, right? So I hope it works. Okay. It's a remarkable thing to be celebrated by one's colleagues, and we are quite surprised and very honored. Huey, Trung, Karente Yamashita, and I, along with our entire team, students included, are truly appreciative of this award. And it's an honor to be in the company of the nominees. Thank you to Chancellor Larive, to CPEVC Kletzer, and to the great folks at the Innovation and Business Engagement Hub. Thank you to George Au Jr., to Georgina Wong, Jeffrey Dunn, Tom Welsh, Kelly Matsushita Teng, and other members of the Santa Cruz Asian American and Pacific Islander community for sharing their stories with us. Thank you to the Arts Research Institute, the Committee on Research, the William and Flora Hewlett Foundation, and the Santa Cruz Museum of Art and History. So, storytelling is a multidimensional and multidisciplinary endeavor. I can't easily think of a context where it isn't somehow present. And I believe that, in fact, story is threaded through all aspects of our lives. So many things, when we step back from them, take the form of story. Stories are embedded in the spaces we traverse all the time in our daily lives. They're embedded in this city, this campus, this room, in our labs, in our classrooms. Helpful stories and destructive stories. As I was thinking about my remarks and about who would be here today, and now, and in my head, I presumed it would be a room full of STEM folks. And I'm not too far off. So I thought that perhaps it would be good if I found a way to explicitly connect this rather artistic and amorphous notion of story with innovation and STEM. So here's my quick attempt. I think storytelling is as much an expressive discipline as it is a biological and scientific one. Stories are alive. They are living organisms. To put it in a way that I'm guessing might be a bit provocative for this particular room, and to quote writer Muriel Rukeyser, the universe is not made of atoms. It is made of stories. So, as this evening is about celebrating innovation, and so often innovation can be about putting together things that are not commonly put together, I'd like to end my remarks with a call for scientists to seek out artists to collaborate with. The world's tough problems require poets and game designers as much as they require chemists and technologists. I, for one, can't think of a better campus for this one, for that kind of unconventional innovation.
Another quick round of applause. And George Au is an absolute gem of our community. Aaliyah and I just yesterday had a chance to be with him in Watsonville and just walking with him, and still so full of life and energy and stories. So thank you for capturing George. It's now time to introduce Associate Vice Chancellor for Research, Eric Palkovacs, who will announce our next awardee. Eric is a professor of ecology and evolutionary biology, Associate Director of Institute of Marine Sciences, Director of the Fisheries Collaborative Program, and lead PI for the Cooperative Institute for Marine, Earth, and Atmospheric Systems. He joined the leadership team in the Office of Research in 2022 as Associate Vice Chancellor for Strategic Initiatives. Please join me in welcoming Eric to the mic.
Thank you, Jacob. I couldn't help but think a little bit as you were talking about as an undergraduate student in EEB, knocking on faculty doors and thinking about the opportunity that the student sees is, wow, this is an amazing opportunity for me as a student. But the faculty member thinks this is an amazing opportunity for me as a faculty member to have these amazing students come in, knock on my door, and want to work on snakes or fish or salamanders or whatever, birds, right? And that's the most thrilling part of being a faculty member. So it's funny how undergraduates think that they're getting the good end of the deal, but in reality, it's us faculty that are getting the good end of the deal. All right, now I need to do the old guy thing. All right, so first, I would like to share that Vice Chancellor for Research, John McMillan, regrets that he's not able to join us, so I'm of course, standing in here for John. But he wants to, of course, congratulate all these amazing innovators and champions. Over the past 5 years, extramural funding for research at UC Santa Cruz has grown by more than 50%, solidifying areas of research excellence, supporting exciting new initiatives, and driving transformational change and societal impact. And that's why we're all here tonight. Research across the wide range of disciplines at UC Santa Cruz leads to groundbreaking discoveries that often catalyze the development of new or improved technologies and tools, products and services, systems and processes, and business models, all with the potential to create value, address unmet needs, improve lives, and make the world a better place now and for future generations. There are so many outstanding examples of impactful innovations enabled through the research and discovery amongst the nominees here this evening and those recognized last year. And I was privileged to be on the committee last year to select the awardees, and I can say it's an extremely hard job because all the nominees are so outstanding. So hats off to the committee for doing the hard work of choosing the best amongst the absolute best. I would like to echo Cindy's and Lori's comments. It must have been a difficult task to sort through these inspiring nominees representing such a broad scope of innovation and an expansive array of societal impacts. Now, it's my pleasure to announce our second Innovator of the Year recipient, someone who exemplifies the translation of research to innovation impact. Holger Schmidt's innovative work resulted in multiple impactful milestones this past year. For those of you that don't know Holger, he is a distinguished professor of electrical and computer engineering and the Narendra Kapani Chair of Optoelectronics. His hybrid optofluidic platform, which draws on nanoscale optofluidics, biomolecular engineering, and electrical engineering, served as the foundation for a startup company called Fluxus that was founded to commercialize systems and solutions to advance the detection, diagnosis, monitoring, and treatment of disease. Fluxus was recently acquired by the Fujiro Bio Group, which aims to market and supply its technologies to diagnostics companies worldwide. In addition, Holger's innovative work recently led to the development of a deep neural network integrating both hardware and software for significantly eliminating signal noise for biomarker detection. This marks a key milestone towards making portable point-of-care devices feasible. Please direct your attention to the screen as we show a brief video highlighting Holger's innovative work.
My name is Holger Schmidt. I'm a distinguished professor of electrical and computer engineering at UC Santa Cruz, and I work on single molecule detection on a chip. Well, the original starting point was to answer the question, can we guide light through a hollow channel on a semiconductor chip? As we had successfully addressed that question, we were starting to look for applications and testing, especially biological samples in these kind of small channels was the natural next step. And what we've been working on for quite a long time now is to develop optofluidic devices that excite individual molecules like a nucleic acid, a DNA molecule, or proteins, antigens, and then collect the optical signals that they produce and detect them one by one, thereby simplifying a lot of the methods that people are using right now for medical diagnostics. Currently, in order to detect different biomarkers, you have to use different physical instruments, like nucleic acids are detected with a PCR machine, and then proteins are analyzed with what's called ELISA or chemoluminescence and so on. One thing that our device does, it can analyze both types of particles in the same run even, as well as completely different things like a whole virus particle. Another thing that's very important is to look for multiple diseases, let's say, or different cancer biomarkers at the same time. And so we came up with another optical trick by creating different light patterns with different colors. And so then when a particle runs through that pattern will be imprinted on the signal that we read out, and that's called multiplexing. You know, the point where we were able to test real samples from our collaborators and see individual, in that case was Ebola, RNAs, one by one, there was a major breakthrough that was clear that this is something potentially useful beyond the research lab. We have worked a lot with infectious diseases, hemorrhagic fevers like Ebola virus, Lassa virus, also influenza, of course COVID, and Zika virus. But we've also looked for cancer biomarkers, and so that's another big area where these kind of devices could come in to detect early cancers. You know, I've really been lucky that I've been able to talk and work with some really great colleagues here at UC Santa Cruz. Really, the environment also shapes the opportunities and the new things that will come out, and that's a really great thing.
And now I'd like to invite Holger to the stage to accept the Innovator of the Year award.
Thank you very much, Eric. Boy, there's nothing worse than watching yourself on a video, I have to say. It's a hard act to follow. I'm really humbled by this award. I'm so fascinated by all these many nominees with all their fantastic projects. I'm really honored to be part of the group and being awarded this honor. And I want to first thank the good folks who nominated me for the award, and then, of course, the committee for selecting me. And I'm not going to go into any more technical detail here. I think it was bad enough, but I just want to highlight a few of the key people that made this all possible, because it's been a long process over many years. And I just want to start by acknowledging my late parents, who supported me tirelessly through what seemed like an endless education. And I would also like to thank my family, Jenny and Nina, for putting up with me with all my endeavors on research education, teaching, and entrepreneurship, and yes, even Associate Dean. And I want to highlight a few of the people that helped me along the way as I started. I want to acknowledge Dean Kang, who hired me, and Dean Isaacson, who really made a big impact when he supported our Keck Center that made a lot of this work possible. And I want to also acknowledge last year's Lifetime Achievement winner, Dave Deemer, who's been a great inspiration for a lot of our work and a great partner in both research and entrepreneurship. So thank you so much, Dave, for being there for me and teaching me. And of course, Mark, yes. And let's see. And then briefly, of course, I've been here for 20 plus years, so I've had many collaborators and partners, but I just want to highlight a couple. One is my long-term friend from graduate school and partner in crime, Aaron Hawkins from Brigham Young University, who has co-invented a lot of the things that we've come up with, and without whom this would have been half the fun. And then also all of my students who've helped put the ideas into practice and improve them. And I just want to highlight one in particular, Vahid Ganjalizadeh, who's also in the program. He came up and he helped develop a lot of these signal processing techniques that we're now using to bring our devices more to the point of care and to sort of out in the field where they can be even more useful than in just a lab or in a doctor's office. So Vahid is one of the great students. He won an award for his thesis last year, and it was really highly deserved as well. And then finally, I want to thank everybody here at UC Santa Cruz who's supported me over the years, from our great facilities guy all the way up to the administration, and thank them for their hopefully continued support. And with that, I'd like to thank you, and thanks.
So dessert should be making its way out, but I was told if you did not eat all your vegetables, you're not getting dessert. So don't be hurt. You've been warned. For many discoveries, patents are a critical aspect on the path to impact. They help enable dissemination, investment, and market adoption, and act as the foundation for new products and services that improve quality of life. The Innovation and Business Engagement Hub's Inventor Recognition Program acknowledges researchers for their U.S. patent awards and showcases the innovative research that is conducted on campus. Ryan highlighted the Inventor Recognition Program at the inaugural Innovation Awards event back in May of last year. And UC Santa Cruz saw several other patents issued in 2023, and I would like to publicly recognize a few of the associated inspirational inventors this evening. So Rebecca Dubois, Ed Green, and Joshua Kapp from Biomolecular Engineering, Xiaowei Chen and Seth Rubin from Chemistry and Biochemistry, Roberto Manduki from Computer Science and Engineering, Keith Corzine, Nabi Kobayashi, Ken Padrati, Marco Rinaldi, Hamid Sajapur, Holgen Schmidt, and Ellie Yannick for Electrical and Computer Engineering, and William Sullivan from Molecular, Cell and Developmental Biology. Round of applause for all of them, please. Now I would like to introduce Vice Chancellor for University Relations, Mark Davis, who will announce our next awardee. Mark has served as Vice Chancellor for University Advancement since 2020. He has spent more than 2 decades in higher education administration with responsibility for driving a wide range of initiatives, including executive communications, alumni relations, development. You got one more day for the spring campaign, people. And please join me in welcoming Mark to the mic.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I have the honor tonight to present the Community Changemaker Award. It was created to recognize a leader or organization in the region that has contributed significantly to regional economic prosperity through innovation, creativity, entrepreneurship, and through support for growing the innovation ecosystem in close collaboration with the university. Great universities need great communities, and great communities need great universities. We're grateful for our numerous community partners who embrace that spirit. UC Santa Cruz is a place that fosters research excellence, scholarship, that pushes the envelope of knowledge, expansive thinking, and out-of-box creativity. We do not go it alone. We celebrate the work of innovative community organizations that inspire us to do better, that ensure that the rewards of innovation are shared by all. That is the case of this year's Community Changemaker Award. I am delighted to announce that this year's awardee is the Homeless Garden Project, a locally grown nonprofit with a mission to build a thriving and inclusive community, workforce, and local food system. The group aims to provide people experiencing homelessness with tools that can help empower individuals with their life journeys. Purpose and feeling of control over our lives is what all of us long for. Homeless Garden Project works to inspire that with community members across our region. The group was founded in 1991 by Paul Lee, who taught at the university, and Lynn Cooper, a UC Santa Cruz alumna. Cooper, who has served on as the project's founding executive director, continues to live in Santa Cruz today. Lee sadly passed away in 2022. Over the years, the project has utilized and been the focus of UC Santa Cruz community-engaged research by faculty, staff, and students. The project runs a robust volunteer program that countless UC Santa Cruz students and community members have taken part in, working on the farm and project stores and the office, learning nonprofit administration. Accepting the award tonight is Derry Gansworn, who has been part of the project for more than 30 years, serving as its executive director since 2008. Let's learn more about the Homeless Garden Project.
Everybody's reasoning for becoming homeless is different. Something that I hear from almost every trainee I've ever worked with, that they feel very rejected, that society hates them, wants them to vanish. The farm is a safe space. The Homeless Garden Project is here to support people to build their own path out of homelessness through skill training and beginning to see themselves as a productive, contributing member of a community. We are really focusing on building job readiness skills and building confidence and self-esteem and a sense of mastery to help people identify their strengths and use them to overcome challenges. There's a way that the whole playing field that society is leveled out at the farm. Our trainees might be teaching a business executive how to plant calendula in the bed, or we might be harvesting with school kids, and the trainees are showing the school kids how to do that. And so they're not people who have been cast away by society, but integral in bringing forth this basic need that we all have to eat. That's an amazing feeling for someone who has felt, that society hated them. The food that we grow mainly goes to community-supported agriculture. We're proud to say that we were the first CSA in Santa Cruz County, and we do have the world's best strawberries. It's not our goal that people become farmers. It's our goal that people feel excitement about their future after here.
Soup today, I was hoping for that.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Well, you got it.
Right.
We have a number of relationships with UCSC. We've worked with service learning, community studies, CASFIS, and we work a lot with the Center for Economic Justice and Action.
I first came here to learn more about the experiences of people who are unhoused in Santa Cruz County. One of the most important things I learned through that project was the incredible ways that the Homeless Garden Project really creates a community that starts from the very foundation that all people should be treated with respect and dignity. And this is really a safe space for people who are unhoused.
So that idea of how can what we're doing on the farm inform the research, and how can what the research does inform what we do on the ground, I feel is so valuable.
And Tyler holding it down in the greenhouse.
One of the current projects that I'm working on documents and shares their best practices, their learnings. It really is a manual of how to create a transitional employment program that we hope will be adopted all across the United States.
We've served more than 1,000 people over the years. This is an amazing little community. There is so much appreciation for the work that we do here. I've heard so many trainees say there should be a homeless garden project in every city.
On behalf of all of us at the Homeless Garden Project, thank you so much for honoring us with this award. The best way to understand the Homeless Garden Project is to experience it, and we invite each and every one of you to come visit us at the farm. Everyone is welcome. I'm going to read a short excerpt from a thank you letter from our trainee graduate, Arthur Kukula, who went on to also graduate from CASFAS. To be homeless means to cease to exist. I am a 2017 graduate of the Homeless Garden Project in Santa Cruz. I enrolled into the project's program in May 2016 after a protracted period of being homeless. As a homeless person for such a long time, I completely forgot who I was. I lost my perspective of myself as a member of the human family. As a result, I did not care to pursue those dreams I had to improve myself through education, to be in a position to impact my community in a meaningful way. Those dreams were replaced by the attitude of hanging in there until my last day on earth. What that meant to me was to only depend on philanthropic organizations for my needs, such as food and clothing. I didn't care to work. My lifestyle was so degrading in a way that I didn't consider myself a human being anymore. I slept in bushes, ate outdated and leftover food from people I did not know. I did not have access to a bathroom when I really needed it most of the time. I heard people sometimes say, "There is hope where there is life." I did not know what that meant until I got in contact with the Homeless Garden Project in Santa Cruz. It was in April 2016 when I was on my way to Natural Bridges Beach via Schaefer Road. I got to this garden and there was a sign that read, "Welcome to the Homeless Garden Project." I learned that it offers a transitional employment opportunity for jobless people. At that point, it occurred to me that if I apply for this program, I might be able to pull myself out of homelessness and be able to help others to do the same. I finally applied for the program and was accepted. Dreams that disappeared during the period of my homelessness started coming back. Each time I remembered any of those dreams, I was inspired to work harder. In March of 2017, I graduated, and I am now studying at the Center for Agroecology and Sustainable Food Systems at UC Santa Cruz. I see the Homeless Garden Project as a lifesaver. The importance of this project in any community cannot be overemphasized. It gave me a second chance to be what I really want to be. It has pulled me out of the bushes to be part of a functional community, a community in which love prevails and people are for each other. This is a community in which everyone is striving to live in harmony with their environment. If it were not for the Homeless Garden Project in Santa Cruz, I strongly believe that I wouldn't live to revisit my dreams. Through the help of the project, I can definitely say goodbye to homelessness. Thank you.
You have to go see it. I've been fortunate to be there, go a couple times, and just this evening, I told her we're going to meet up again because it's such a magical place. It's time to bring the Chancellor back up to the stage to announce our final awardees for the evening. Chancellor Reeve.
Thank you, Jacob. As I mentioned earlier, the Lifetime Achievement in Innovation Award recognizes a faculty member whose career accomplishments include innovations that have led to significant long-term societal impact, and someone who is an inspiration and positive influence for our students and colleagues alike. It's my distinct pleasure to announce that this year's award goes to David Hausler, Distinguished Professor of Biomolecular Engineering in the Baskin School of Engineering and Scientific Director of the UC Santa Cruz Genomics Institute. David's widely known for his pivotal role in the Human Genome Project. In the year 2000, David and his team solved the puzzle of how pieces of DNA being sequenced by researchers around the world fit together into a cohesive sequence. And then they publicly posted this first ever assembly of the human genome. It was, of course, a seminal moment for David, for UC Santa Cruz, and for science. Since then, David has continued to be an innovator. He's known worldwide for breaking down academic silos that often hinder collaboration, and for his commitment to sharing technology and data. He has brought together diverse and interdisciplinary teams to work on numerous applications of genomics for humans, animals, and viruses. He has now turned his attention to his early interest in the brain, how it works, and he's using the most advanced AI available, working to understand how cells and tissues behave at the level of a systems model, which he believes will revolutionize human medicine. Some of you may know David for another reason, and that's his signature Hawaiian shirts. I read recently that there's more in them than a nod to his Southern California roots. David sees shirts as an invitation to collaborate. I mean, how could you not want to work with someone whose fashion choice screams fun? That's David. Thought behind everything he does, innovation always, constantly breaking down barriers, and a genuinely kind and good person. Now we'll play a short video that summarizes David's spectacular career.
The question of what's in the human genome is an example of a big science question, and I'm very proud that Santa Cruz has not been shy about attacking those big science questions. So I came to UC Santa Cruz in the 1980s, joined the computer science department here, and was very, very excited about exploring the field of artificial intelligence and machine learning, and always curious about how the human brain worked. I had this secret desire at all points to bring this back to question about the natural world.
In the late 90s, I was recruited in from industry to build and run a genome center at MIT to participate in the Human Genome Project. When we started, it's a bit of a sleepy academic project, but one of our team members split out, started a company called Celera, told the rest of us we could go ahead and sequence the mouse, and he would be doing the human genome in the company, patenting all the genes.
This had to be a public good, so this became an issue not only of science, but of ethics.
That's when David Hausler and Jim Kent entered the scene.
Working with the International Human Genome Project, our team at Santa Cruz brought our computer skills to this.
And we had very little time to pull that off. The whole thing took place over 9 months.
And we were the first to be able to solve the jigsaw puzzle of how the DNA pieces of the human genome fit together. We had the great honor of posting the first draft of the human genome on the internet with no restrictions whatsoever on July 7th, 2000. This was a moment that I will always, always remember.
Today, the world is joining us here in the East Room to behold a map of even greater significance. We are here to celebrate the completion of the first survey of the entire human genome.
When I think back on some of the incredible successes of the Human Genome Project and some of the key people that brought them and some of the heroes, I would certainly list David Hausler very quickly.
David's best known for the genome browser, probably, and for assembling the human genome. In a way, you might think the technology didn't change. There's still a UCSC genome browser that has a similar look and feel to how it did a decade and a half ago, but the functionality of that browser is so different. And so continuing to innovate on data curation and making data easy to explore and query for other scientists, I think is actually like the real sort of second story here.
I don't know another researcher other than David who is so crossing all of the divisions of genomics. I mean, when you think about his stem cell biology, his thinking about mathematics in the mind, how to move into pangenomics, conservation, David really has no bounds.
I work with David Hausler and Mircea Teodorescu in the Brain Engineers group. Right now I'm working on new forms of cell culture which very closely mimic the way that organs work in the body and allow us to study them at a very high scale. David's overall vision, as I see it, really depends on taking the work that's been solely the domain of neuroscientists and molecular biologists and identifying ways that that can be improved using the unique insights of all kinds of other disciplines in ways that maybe those talents have not been applied in the past.
We really want to apply the very most powerful technology to figure out, at the level of a systems model, a predictable model, how cells and tissues behave. If we can do that, it is a complete game changer for human medicine. Complete game changer.
Despite the browser, despite assembling the human genome for the first time, despite an amazing career in hardcore computer science, I think David is best known for all the people he has trained and mentored.
If I have a question and I need to have that type of vision, I'm eager to talk to David because he does it with scientific vision, but also with a big heart. David's always been someone who tries to lift all boats.
His community that he's brought up has had influence even beyond what's going on in Santa Cruz, way beyond, and that is an amazing legacy.
I feel at every step David's been there, supportive of my career, even when I cared about satellite DNAs, as I cared about finishing the genome.
The key thing about the UCSC Genomics Institute is the all-star team that we have.
We're beginning to turn our gaze to how can we use this data and these genomic approaches to begin to attack the basis of human disease, to improve access or better methods for human health, to begin to think about how can we use genomics to look at the environment, to develop conservation programs.
We really want to improve the lives of people and the planet with our science. Thank you so much, Cindy. Thanks everybody who has arranged for this award ceremony. And thank you so much to the artists. This is truly beautiful. I treasure this so much more than just simple etched glass. This is uniquely beautiful. Thank you. I feel very humbled to be on this stage, following David Deemer, following all of the colleagues who have inspired me so much for the more than 35 years I've been on this campus. It has been an amazing ride. I cannot express my gratitude in words. I love Santa Cruz. It gave me everything. It's just been amazing to me from that first foggy night. I remember when I interviewed so many years ago and looked at the redwoods standing up so tall and disappearing into the fog and thinking, there's destiny in this campus. There's something special here, and I get to be a part of it. And I try to convey that enthusiasm to my students every year, and it's true, as was remarked earlier, really the students are the gift to us, to see their excitement about learning about the world, learning about the universe, learning about life, and thinking about what is in the future. And that's the thing about Santa Cruz that is so amazing, that we are not afraid to think bold thoughts, to try new things, and to go for really big ideas and big projects. And that this community has let a guy with no boundaries like me here to do all these things I cannot say thank you enough to everybody. If I went through the list of everybody who's helped me in more than 35 years, it would take all night. But obviously, thanks so much to the current leadership. Cindy, it's just been absolutely terrific. Lori, thank you so much. Alex, and you heard from Lauren, also directing the GI. I cannot thank the students that I've worked with enough, and you got to meet them, and I'm so glad you got to meet them. There have been so many incredible students in my life. Karen Miga, Benedict Payton you saw, Jim Kent, of course, was truly amazing. Sophie Salama is somebody who I've worked with in the wet lab and has just changed everything for me. And the list goes on, from early colleagues like Montford Warmoth, when I was here as a computer geek only, looking at machine learning and what the potential was, to current colleagues, which are too many to enumerate. So thank you so much to Santa Cruz. But there is one person, absolutely one person in the world who really made this possible and is the center of everything I can be, and that is my wife, Lou, who's here with me. And she has put up with me. Okay, that's a nod from that. She has put up with my obsession for all these decades. And I can't thank you enough for staying with me. But for you and the kids, I would have been a complete lost soul. So thank you so much for supporting me. I think Santa Cruz has incredible potential if you look into the distant future as we go ahead. The world is a very rapidly changing place. A combination of humanism and technology creates a huge opportunity and a collision at the same time, and the fact that these can all coexist here with the arts, with the social sciences, with all of the life sciences and the physical sciences is what makes a university so great. It's what makes this opportunity of people bouncing ideas off each other the real key to the future. The fact that we have this open dialogue, the fact that we can think what we want, that we can all talk to each other and step right across disciplinary boundaries, especially here in Santa Cruz. We work with colleagues from all divisions. That makes this place very, very unique. And the fact that we're all thinking about what can I do that will really matter, that's something that's very characteristic. It's not all about what can I get out of this for me, but what can I give that will matter. And I feel that in all my colleagues, and it's just been an amazing life experience. So thank you, Santa Cruz. Thank you, everybody.
So before we close, I would like to thank everyone that made this event happen and call attention to the program and events team. In particular, Taylor Giovanni, Paulina Fisher, Sandra Messick, Kristen Palma, Susan Pearson, Nicole Silva, Ryan Sharp. So please join me again in thanking this group, Chancellor Reeve, and our sponsors, law firms Carter, DeLuca, and Farrell, and Gates and Cooper for this wonderful program. Round of applause. As a reminder, we like to take a group photo with all the awardees and the award presenters, so please stick around for a few minutes. And everyone else, have a beautiful rest of your evening, safe drive home wherever you're going, and we'll see you next year. Thank you very much.